President Trump nominated Judge Brett Kavanaugh Monday evening to replace retiring Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy. Here to weigh in on the president's pick, I want to bring in the Director of Legislative Affairs for Planned Parenthood, Jacqueline Ayers. She's in Washington. Jacqueline, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
How might Brett Kavanaugh, as a Supreme Court justice, if he's confirmed, impact abortion rights?
Well, Planned Parenthood outright opposes this nomination. Brett Kavanaugh would swing the balance of the court in the wrong direction to overturn Roe versus Wade. We know that because President Trump put out a litmus test stating that any nominee from this administration must overturn Roe v. Wade and seek to undo the Affordable Care Act and access to affordable health care. So we take Trump at his word. We know he has said that he would have a nominee who would seek to undo Roe v. Wade, and we believe that's exactly who Brett Kavanaugh is.
Well, in 2006, Judge Kavanaugh said that he would follow Roe versus Wade, quote, faithfully and fully, end quote, if selected as D.C. Circuit Judge. Does that indicate anything to you about what he would do if he is in fact confirmed to the High Court?
Yes, I think the stakes have changed a lot since he was first confirmed in 2006. This is the first time you have a U.S. president who has stated what their test would be for a nominee to the highest court in the land. And by Trump stating that everyone on his list, including Brett Kavanaugh, would vote to overturn Roe v. Wade and seek to roll back health care protections under the Affordable Care Act, we know that we have a nominee who can't just get away any longer with saying, I would respect Roe v. Wade as precedent or recognize it as settled law. In fact, now really the burden is on Brett Kavanaugh as the named nominee to the court to be able to demonstrate that he would in fact protect individual liberties and personal decision making. So we're waiting really for Brett Kavanaugh to say much more than just that Roe v. Wade is settled law. And Planned Parenthood supporters are going to be holding this nominee to that standard. And we're also going to be making sure that all of our supporters are calling the U.S. Senate to intervene. It's incredibly important that the Senate intervenes in this particular nomination because the balance of Roe v. Wade and access to abortion is on the line.
Is there anything so far, I know the president has just made this nomination, but is there anything specifically in Judge Kavanaugh's judicial record that you have seen that troubles you based on your own perspective at Planned Parenthood?
Yes. Even just within minutes of the nomination being announced, you have anti-abortion organizations that are actively celebrating and tweeting Kavanaugh because he does have a record that is hostile to reproductive health care. Just last year, while on the D.C. Circuit, he dissented in an opinion that would have blocked a young undocumented woman from accessing an abortion, which she had a legal right to do so. And we know that he is not just going after abortion. His record has also demonstrated hostility to birth control access. And in an opinion about the Affordable Care Act's birth control provision, he has stated that a boss should have the right to decide if an employee can get access to birth control. So he does absolutely have a record. He has been touted and supported by the Federalist Society and ultra-conservative organizations like the Heritage Foundation. And again, we know who Trump has said he would put forward, and Brett Kavanaugh stands for a nominee that would seek to overturn Roe v. Wade.
You mentioned the groups that oppose abortion coming out not long after Judge Kavanaugh was announced as President Trump's pick. Well, we know that groups that support Judge Kavanaugh are going to be putting a lot of money into ads as this confirmation battle unfolds here. Tell me about your organization's efforts opposing this nomination.
Yeah, Planned Parenthood opposes this nomination, but we also know that we have the support of the country on our side. The vast majority of Americans, 72% of Americans, support access to abortion and do not want to see Roe v. Wade overturned. Whether you're talking about independents, Democrats, Republicans, there's not a state in this country where the majority of voters want to see Roe v. Wade overturned. So it's that full opposition of people who do not want to go back to a time when women did not have access to their rights and and making decisions with their bodies. So we're going to be organizing in all 50 states. Planned Parenthood has seen a lot of activism of people over the last 18 months who have come out, take action, call their members of Congress. We know that this fight won't be any different. In fact, 1 in 5 people have taken some kind of action in the last 18 months. So we're going to be calling on our 11 million supporters across the country to pick up the phones, call their senators, and make sure that they understand that the right to access abortion, which is widely supported by the majority of Americans, is on the line, and this nominee has to be opposed.
Jacqueline Ayers, thank you very much for your perspective, Jacqueline.
Thank you.